y'all, I'm Hesha. I just wanted to come on real quick. I'm finishing up some study right now, but I wanted to come on and give a very brief video about my book, Being Perfected in Godliness, and how it came about, what to expect from it, and just how I was inspired to write about it. And so I did a challenge earlier in the year. It's probably like March or April. And I was sent to go back to all of my old journals and just kind of review it. It was more so for a life story to try to get an outline for a book, for your personal book. But as I was reviewing it, I saw a couple of different things in my book that stood out as patterns to me. And it was always subjects, it was always themes to my study every so often. And these are times when I would fall off track in my Christian walk and had to get back on track. These were some principles and some habits that I kind of took to every time, I got back on track. But every time, these were some things that I would do to establish a rhythm back with me getting falling back in line. And so it was always Bible study, it was always prayer, it was always fasting, and then worship. And so those were the four habits that I saw a reoccurring theme in my journals. And I made those part of the 6 habits that I talk about in my book. And so the other 2 came about during the COVID time, which was solitude and observing Sabbath. And so as I was reviewing my journal, I had a bunch of notes that I decided to make them into a book. And the purpose of the foundations, because this book, you can see it's a thin book, right? But it started out, I was up to page 200, and I was only on like the 3rd habit. And I thought that would be too much for my book. And so what I did was took out a lot of the personal examples that I gave, the structure that I gave. I took those out and I just stuck with the foundations. What Jesus did, how he modeled this principle or how he modeled this habit in his life while he lived on earth. And then the importance of establishing this habit in your life. And so that's what you will find in the foundations book. And my plan is to go from my table of contents, which if you can see them here, it goes over the 6 habits that I talk about. This is the start of a series book that I plan to write and continue to write through the year, through 2025. That's a goal of mine. But I plan to write another Being Perfected in that specific habit, and some of the techniques, some of the structure, some of the starting points to kind of help you get started with making that a habit in your life. And so this is the start of a series that I plan to continue writing. And again, this is the foundations. This is why it's important, how Jesus modeled it in his life. And then the other coming books, which I'm already done with the Bible study, and I already have a working manuscript for the prayer part, but I am going to be adding other books so that you could pick and choose what habit you need to really perfect in your walk with Christ, to draw closer to him. And so that's the explanation of how my book, Being Perfected in Godliness, the foundations, how that book came about and how it kind of dwindled to this small book that you see here. But I am so proud of it. And so I hope you plan on joining me in this journey into godliness as we look to perfect our lives. I'm looking forward to walking in this journey with you, and definitely go to www.beingperfected.com to grab your copy for the videos to come. See you guys.